Hey, PeachBet20 here. Thanks for coming back to another reaction video. Today we're going to be kind of breaking down the best of Full Metal Jacket. Links to the original video and channel are going to be down in the description below, so go and make sure that you check them out. If this is your first time viewing this channel, a little background on myself. I was a corporal in the United States Marine Corps where I served as an 0311 or infantryman from 2015 to 2019. I went on 2 deployments. First one staying in Kuwait. Second one going back to Kuwait and spending half the time in Syria. Now I can finally say I'll be able to do a pretty decent breakdown probably of this video. I mean, I've been to boot camp, but then again, the time period's probably going to be quite a bit different. Maybe I'll just draw some similarities, some differences, and even some memories that spark in my mind. Wow, I said that weird. Anything from the video that sparks a memory. Also, word of advice, don't work 5 12-hour shifts back to back. It's going to leave you drained mentally and physically. So on that, my uploading schedule, as sporadic as it's been, which has been getting back on track, but it's going to change again. Happens. But just know it's not a big month-long, step away that I've done in the past. So, without wasting too much more time, let's go ahead, get right into the video.
What's your name, scumbag?
Sir, Private Brown, sir!
Bullshit, from now on you're...
Okay, so this is one of the things, as far as from the movie that I would see a lot, they would always start their sentences with sir. From what I understood, that was an army thing. You would start with sir and then end with sir. From the Marine Corps, it was just in boot camp. They didn't want you to say I, we, or us. You would say this recruit, that recruit, or these recruits. And essentially, we just say sir at the end. Not the beginning. Then again, different time. Honestly, I never really knew what uniforms the recruits wore back then. But, everybody's bald. Everyone's got their little foot locker. And the beds look pretty similar too, huh? Usually we'd get from what it looked like, it would be maybe 80 to 90 something recruits, right? Per squad bay.
Private Snowball. Do you like that name?
Yes, sir!
Well, there's one thing that you won't like, Private Snowball. They don't serve fried chicken and watermelon on a daily basis in my mess hall.
Yes, sir! Sir!
That you, John Wayne? Is this me?
Who said that?
Alright, so obviously you never want to do this, especially when it's really quiet and everything could be heard. For one thing, not only is he going to get messed up, or if he doesn't get messed up, the people around him are going to get messed up. As far as, I don't know, maybe doing some extra PT, they're going to have you on the quarter deck, doing push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, whatever.
Who the fuck said that? Who's the slimy little communist shit twinkle-toed cocksucker down here who just signed his own death warrant?
You got to admit, I mean, I know he was a real drill instructor, right? But the creativity as far as what they say and how they say things, or I guess metaphors that they say, dude, I don't know if they have this pre-written and they memorize it in case the off chance they get to use it, but it seems like they would come with it on the spot. Well, let's take a look at these racks. It's all green. Typically, we only had the whole green and blanket, and with the green, it looks like they have the second green blanket over it. That's kind of what we would only do in second phase, because I guess it was considered a little more dirtier, right? Over in Pendleton. But as far as being in MCRD, I'm pretty sure this is, would be Parris Island. I mean, then again, MCRD could have looked a lot different back then, but the racks look pretty similar. Foot lockers, I mean, wouldn't be stacked on top of each other like this. We would have one in the front. Or no, not one in the front. We would have one right here, long side coming out this way, and the other one right next to it.
Nobody, huh? The fairy fucking godmother said it. I'm fucking standing. I will PT you all until you fucking die. I'll PT you until your assholes are sucking buttermilk. Was it you scroungy little fuck, huh?
Sir, no, sir!
You little piece of shit, you look like...
Okay, so, I mean, obviously nowadays probably not going to happen as far as somebody putting hands on you when you go to boot camp, I mean, hell, definitely a different story back then, but one moment where one of my buddies who had actually ended up getting stationed with me in Twin Palms, right? It's just that he was in a different platoon. Apparently, one of the drill instructors had an issue with one of the recruits, and then I don't know if he ever did anything to him, but my buddy thought hey, I'm going to take a stand right here and do something. He says he got one good punch, and the drill instructor just beat the crap out of him. I mean, and then at that point, my buddy had thrown the first hit, so they both pretty much kept it under wraps. You know, I mean, hell, I'm not saying names, anything like that. But yeah, I mean, it could happen. You know, especially you got people who not only are they trained to kind of yell at you in the face to see how well you handle that type of pressure, and you're just supposed to like pretty much just keep your calm because you know it's gonna pass. All they're doing is yelling. You know, you get very used to that, specifically in boot camp, and then you know it's not that bad.
Like a fucking worm. I bet it was you.
Sir, no, sir.
Sir, I said it, sir.
Well,
He just said I, didn't he? If you ever said I, they would get in your face, put their hands like inches, like an inch away, and just be like I. If you think they're so clever.
no shit. What have we got here? A fucking comedian, private joker. I admire your honesty. Hell, I like you. You can come over to my house and fuck my sister. You little scumbag. I got your name. I got your ass. You will not laugh. You will not cry. You will learn by the numbers. I will teach you. Now get up. Get on your feet. You had best unfuck yourself or I will unscrew your head and shut down your neck. How tall are you, Private?
Sir, 5'9", sir.
5'9". I didn't know they stacked shit that high.
Come on, bro. Dude, okay. Drill instructors will probably roast the hell out of anybody and probably the best at it. Then again, I don't know if they write these down and they just save them or if they're just coming up with it on the spot because who the hell thinks of that? I didn't know they stack shit that high. The hardest part is that whenever something like this is going on, someone's getting chewed out. If you're in the background or if you're close by and you start like shaking because like you're laughing, you're gonna become a part of it too now.
You trying to squeeze an inch in on me somewhere, huh?
Sir, no, sir.
Bullshit. It looks to me like the best part of you ran down to cracking your mama's ass and ended up as a brown stain on the mattress. I think you've been cheated. Where in hell are you from anyway, Private?
Sir, Texas, sir.
Holy dog shit. Texas, only steers and queers come from Texas, Private Cowboy. And you don't much look like a steer to me, so that kind of narrows it down. Do you suck dicks?
Sir, no, sir.
Are you a Peter Puffer?
Sir, no, sir.
I bet you're the kind of guy that would fuck a person in the ass and not even have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around. I'll be watching you. Parents have any children that live?
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay, one thing. When we all had bald heads, it was so hard to distinguish each other. And the only way we can kind of, I guess, keep track of each other was because we would have to either, I had to memorize types of voices or just memorize. It's kind of weird, but like people's mannerisms, kind of like the way they walked, because I legit couldn't tell. And you know, obviously, you don't get the name tapes automatically when you come in, so it's kind of hard to tell somebody by name. But as far as like a drill instructor actually coming around and actually just kind of picking and choosing people to like, I guess, roast, never really saw it happen. I mean, sure, they would do it in between, like, say, if we were doing something. I guess, I don't know, we're like practicing drill, right? They might come over if they see you messing up a lot and then kind of like roast you. But for the most part, they're not. I mean, typically he would also have at least minimum, maybe like 2 guys who are there with him as far as DIs go. Because, you know, let's see if I can remember. You're going to have a kill hat, which is going to essentially be the guy that PTs you the most. I forgot what the other 2 were. But one of them was essentially kind of like a second in command. And was the other one called the J hat? Or he was like the one that was good with knowledge and would be kind of the teacher, sort of. I don't know. It's been a while. But I mean, hell, I still remember my drill instructors. And then obviously he would be like the senior drill instructor right here. Although I never saw any of them in their service alphas doing something like this similar, right? Then again, different times. Looks like he shot expert on both.
I bet they regret that. You're so ugly you could be a modern art masterpiece. What's your name, fat body?
Sir, Leonard Lawrence, sir.
Lawrence what, of Arabia?
Sir, no, sir.
That name sounds like royalty. Are you royalty?
Sir, no, sir.
Do you suck dicks?
Sir, no, sir.
Bullshit, I'll bet you could suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
Sir, no, sir.
I don't like the name Lawrence. Only faggots and sailors are called Lawrence. From now on, you're Gomer Pyle.
Sir, yes, sir.
Do you think I'm cute, Private Pyle? Do you think I'm funny?
Sir, no, sir.
Then wipe that disgusting grin off your face.
Sir, yes, sir.
Well, any fucking time, sweetheart.
Sir, I'm trying, sir.
Private
I don't know if the actor was doing this on purpose, but he legitimately looks like he's about to burst out laughing. I'm gonna tell you, sometimes the hardest moments when you have to be quiet is probably the time that you'll most want to laugh. For the love of God, don't get caught doing it.
Pile, I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. Exactly 3 fucking seconds to wipe that stupid looking grin off your face, or I will gouge out your eyeballs and skull fuck you. 1, 2, 3.
Sir, I can't help it, sir.
Bullshit! Get on your knees, scumbag! Now choke yourself. Are you through grinning?
Sir, yes, sir.
Bullshit! I can't hear you.
Sir, yes, sir.
Bullshit! I still can't hear you. Sounds off like you've got a pair.
Sir, yes, sir.
That's enough. Get on your feet. Left shoulder. Private Pile.
Okay, so dude, the amount of time we would practice doing drill, and then we never really did much with it, as far as like after boot camp. We did a little in SOM when we go to the chow hall, but that's about it, and a little here and there for like ceremonies in the fleet, but not a whole lot. I mean, drill, sure, it was all right. I mean, I didn't mind it, but the amount of time we would just have to stay standing there. But also, if you ever mess up any type of movement, anything like that, from what I was told, as my DI said, that I guess own it, right? Stay there until they tell you to correct yourself. You know, at least you still commitment that you thought you were doing the right thing. Don't quickly try to change it like that, because from what I understood, I mean, obviously I never saw it from like the different perspective. Any little movement, especially when everyone else is standing still, and it's kind of like pretty similar as far as like the way the rifle's pointed, hands, legs, everything. If there's a little bit of like deviation as far as like a little movement, it's going to be very noticeable, despite whether if you're in the back, you're in the center. You know, your eyes, I don't know how, can detect like little movements, right? And any irregularities.
What are you trying to do to my beloved car?
Sir, I don't know, sir.
You are dumb, Private Pile, but do you?
Well, I mean, somewhat the same coverage, right? Although this guy in the back probably has the best one. Typically, you would want these little edges to be nice and smooth. Yeah. Well, we had our camis button all the way up too. And what was it? Until second phase? I want to say it was second or going into third phase, we would have the top button unbuttoned. We would get our name tapes. I don't remember which. I think it was the first month though, as far as like when we lost our boots. But yeah. Every little piece of the uniform was also supposed to have its little significance as well. Although I can't remember a whole lot of them.
You expect me to believe that you don't know left from right?
Sir, no, sir.
Then you did that on purpose. You want to be different.
Sir, no, sir.
What side was that, Private Pile?
Sir, left side, sir.
Are you sure, Private Pile?
Sir, yes, sir.
What side was that, Private Pile?
Sir, right side, sir.
Don't fuck with me again, Pile.
I just realized, being a gunny, I've never saw a gun. The highest I ever saw was like a staff sergeant, as far as like a drill instructor. Never saw a gunny. I just realized that.
Pick up your fucking cover. Tonight, you pukes will sleep with your rifles. You will give your rifle a girl's name, because this is the only pussy.
Wait a minute. When we would get online, I mean, because you know you had to do like the whole little checking to make sure you don't have any. I don't know if it was like to check for cuts, make sure you're staying hygienic, but you know you're online and you're showing your feet. And as far as like a drill instructor coming by, and you had to say a ditty, I forgot what it was, but I remember there was a snap, and you would have to like turn from side to side. I don't remember what it was called, but as far as that, like I think at that moment we only had like I guess like tidy whities, right? Because they had to make sure like, you know, I guess you're not injured in any way, shape, or form every single night, right? So when they're doing that, I think I wore those tidy whities maybe like once or twice. After that, they said, hey, just wear skivvy shorts. And for the most part, skivvy shorts were supposed to be, you know, they're regular shorts, but it would act as, I guess, like your boxers, briefs, whatever. We did not have a white. We just had green. We had green towels. We had green everything. But yeah, it seems like kind of that's what would happen in this scene right here as far as them checking you, right?
You people are going to get your days of finger banging, old pretty pink panties are over. You're married to this piece, this weapon of iron and wood.
Also, these little towels right here would be hung right here and right here. I'm remembering a lot of stuff now. Look at this. Don't believe we ever had like anything hung back here. I mean, the thing we did have back there was like a little rack for the rifles, but you know, eventually they ended up just having like a big little locker somewhere by like we had some by the door, some on the other side, on the left side, to house all the rifles. And eventually, when you got to like second phase, you would have your main pack in the back here. Camis would be hung right here, if I remember right. I believe we put them on top of the little actual post of the bed here. But yeah, I mean, it looks kind of similar, you know, little key differences, but you know.
And you will be faithful. This is my rifle, this is my gun. This is for fun and this is for fun. This is my rifle, this is my gun. This is for fun and this is for fun. This is my rifle, this is my gun. This is for fun and this is for fun. Quickly, get your fat ass over there, Private Pile. Oh, that's right, Private Pile. Don't make any fucking effort to get up to the top of the fucking obstacle. I'll bet you if there was some pussy up there on top of that obstacle, you could get up there, couldn't you? Science, sir! Your ass looks like about 150 pounds of chewed bubble gum.
I know there's a certain requirement as far as like you passing a certain, what was it, like 50 or 60 some sit-ups, like 3 pull-ups, and then a run time, although I don't remember what the cutoff of it was. IST. I got a 9:30, I think, on the mile and a half. But as far as a Pile making it past that, I don't think he would have. I mean, there's obviously, right. I mean, yeah, we do get some, you know, what he calls them fat bodies, like people who are a little overweight that come to boot camp, and some of them lose quite a bit of weight while they're there, so it kind of balances out as they go along. Nobody ever really regresses because despite how much you eat, you know, the amount of activities that they make you do as far as like PT helps balance things out and actually get you in pretty, you know, great shape.
Pile, you know that? Say it, sir! One for the Commandant. One for the Corps.
Okay, there's a lot of kipping, and obviously it seems like, you know, I mean, as far as like the movie went, it seems like he's running the entire platoon. Again, don't know how they did it back then, but you know, you gotta have some other drone searchers with you, kind of like backing you up, as far as like make sure like the other guys are also doing their pull-ups or giving you a chance to rest. Because from what I heard, drone searchers will only get a couple hours a night because they had to do stuff even after you went to bed and before you all even woke up. We had a couple times where a drone searcher wasn't coming out in the morning to say like, hey, get up, you know, time to get ready, go to chow and all that. So our guide woke up and just pretty much got us all up. We hygiene, got ready, made our beds or racks, and then like a couple seconds later, drone searcher comes out, looks tired beyond all belief, looks, I don't know, I'm not gonna say hungover. He looked in rough shape. But then he goes, "All right, get outside," and then yeah, I mean, they don't get a lot of sleep from what I hear.
Get up there. Pull. I guess the Corps don't get theirs. Get up there, Pile. Pull. Pull, Pile, pull. One pull-up, Pile. Come on, pull.
Yeah, if you can't do one pull-up when the very bare minimum is 3, you know, you either get, I mean, I'm assuming you have to get recycled back, or you wouldn't have even made it to boot camp. I mean, granted, when people get to boot camp, I don't know what it is. The first PFT that we do, we usually do horrible at it. I don't know what it is. It happened to a lot of people from what I understood. But if you can't even do one, bro, your recruiter must have really just pushed you to get his quota or something, man. Because there's no way you would get there not even be able to do one pull-up. I think I started with like 10, right? And I hadn't even been really working out at that time.
You gotta be shitting me, Pile. Get your ass up there. Do you mean to tell me that you cannot do one single pull-up? You are a worthless piece of shit, Pile. Get out of my face. Get up there, Snowball. Boy, quickly, move it on, Pile, move it on.
Okay, I don't care what anyone says. When he came to heights, there's something. Fucking the tower was a little easier because you had some pretty stable footing, right? And you had a rail. But when we had to do this ladder to heaven on second phase, it was one of the more scarier instances, right? Because as far as like just going, not going over the very top log, but going like below that one and over the one that's underneath it, there's something about it that it causes you to like kind of unknowingly, or not unknowingly, but just shake a little bit. Considering if you mess up, there's no safety harnesses. There's what, like pieces of rubber tire on the ground that might break your fall. But okay, I will say on this one, it'd be a little terrifying. And also, what would convince someone like Pyle to really join? I mean, I know this is a movie, but like, I guess someone like, I mean, maybe he's got a reason. Maybe his family has military experience.
You climb obstacles like old people fuck. You know that, Private Pyle? Holy Jesus. What is that?
Hey, they're doing it. They're doing the thing. Except, I mean, obviously we're not standing on top of the Foot Locker, but you know, doing that thing and then we go snap. I remember that.
What the fuck is that? What is that, Private Pyle?
Sir, jelly donuts, sir!
A jelly donut?
Sir, yes, sir!
So, from now on, whenever Private Pyle fucks up, I will not punish him. I will punish all of you. And the way I see it, ladies, you owe me for one jelly donut. Now get on your faces. Open.
Alright, so obviously now the fact that punishing him wasn't really doing anything, he's continuously screwing up again. You know, eventually they're gonna start not attacking, but messing with the people, either the whole platoon or people beside you. I remember one time during second phase, my rack mate, I don't know what he did, but he pissed off a drill instructor and says, "You know what? Who's your rack mate?" Says my name. Tells me to stand up. "Right here, sir." Good, good. Starts looking at me and says, "All right, you two, go outside." And I'm just thinking to my rack mate, like, "You son of a bitch. Like, you motherfucker, dude." But also, I mean, at this point, I mean, you know, we would call them the platoon terrorists, right? As far as someone who messes up all the time and kind of, you know, hurts the platoon, I guess, as far as that goes, like, everyone's going to be suffering now while, you know, he's not going to be doing push-ups and not going to really be, I guess he's getting more psychologically disciplined. If you mess up, then other people are going to suffer, right?
In your mouth. They're paying for it. You eat it. Ready?
Do it. Do it.
What do you think about this scene? I mean, do you think it was something that kind of needed to happen, kind of like wake him up to be like, "Hey, we're getting sick and tired of you messing up," despite, you know, everything, like you're seeing the consequences, but you don't really care. But now that it's going to be affecting us, you know, we're going to make sure that you don't mess up again. And then, you know, coming here, hitting them, and I'm not sure what was in the sock. I'm going to assume it was like a soap. But as far as like in boot camp for me, we never really did this to anybody. I mean, yeah, we'd have a couple fights between like two people. But even our guy that was supposed to be like the platoon terrorist, people would kind of like yell at him. And that's pretty much it. Never really did anything physically. The guy was tall. He was a little kind of thick, right? So that may have been the reason. So, I mean, what do you think about this thing? Do you think it was like justified, or do you think it was like something that kind of needed to happen, or something that could not have happened and then it could have been another way? You know, it's a little tricky, right?
Remember, it's just a bad dream, fat boy.
Outstanding, Private Pyle. I think we finally found something that you do well.
Sir, yes, sir!
You know, I wish that we could shoot without the flak. in the Kevlar, but you know, you gotta train the way you fight. So, and as far as the cover being backward, I don't know if they did that back then, but uh, I had a buddy wait, two ways. I had a buddy who did this. Kind of he was joking around, but then some sergeant saw him and chewed him out. But then was it in boot camp? There's Hawaiian dude. He had the hat, but when he had it on, he had it like with the what you call it, the bill, right? It was like up like this. And then one of our drill instructors go, "Oh, we're not on the fucking block, homeboy." Yeah, I mean, and obviously I've never been a parasite. I'm not sure if it does look like this. Typically for us, you know, again, time difference. We have like a rubber. There's cement. No, I mean, yeah, the cement, and then there's like a rubber. I don't know how to describe it too well, but it's like a rubber grounds, right? When you're in the prone, you know, it's not killing your elbows. And then we get the flag right here. Kind of do one call depending if there's wind. I mean, because obviously when obviously playing like a big effect as far as you shooting. When it's cold, again, you know, you're shivering, you know, especially when you have to shoot like fucking balls early in the morning. Like you have to be there at what, 4 or 3 sometimes, and you're not gonna shoot until 6. It's ridiculous, man. Okay, so as far as this scene goes, I mean, you know, pretty famous scene about when he shoots him, but I've never seen or heard about anyone actually killing their DI. I've heard people like kind of just say like in passing, like, God, no, I want to beat the shit out of this DI or want to do something like that, but never actually killing. I mean, I don't know anyone personally that actually wanted to do this. I mean, we all had that DI that we didn't like. And it is kind of surprising that he was able to sneak off some rounds, right, off the range. I mean, typically, again, time difference. You get patted down, they inspect you, like to really make sure that you don't have any rounds on you whatsoever. And I'm assuming that's why eventually, you know, throughout the Marine Corps, they would eventually end up placing all the rifles inside like an actual cage locker that you wouldn't have access to, I guess, kind of prevent something like this that's about to go on. And as far as the stalls, we had a stall like two of the little side little stall things, I guess, with like without the door. And then, you know, it was customary that if you went in one, somebody would not choose the one in front of you, but would choose the one off to the side. So you're kind of offset. You know, obviously, you'll have to be facing someone if there's a lot of people in there. But yeah, you really didn't have that type of privacy in there. And, you know, showers, same thing.
Hi, Joker.
Also, I don't know if anyone else ever thought this. I thought this scene was very cringy. I don't think boot camp would do that to a lot of people. I mean, there are people who, you know, I've heard stories that commit suicide. You know, some people jump up the third story a deck, and then, you know, or some people try to run away. I've heard about people running to the airport. You know, it's right next to MCRD, and they're getting caught, getting transferred back. Some people get out. I've never heard of anybody acting like this. I mean, I'm positive, you know, it could happen. But it just seems there wasn't a whole lot of things as far as within the movie with his character, right? Like it seems to have maybe made him get this far to his breaking point. The worst probably thing that ever happened to him was probably getting beat with those socks. Then again, I don't see how that would be the cause of him becoming like this, right? So yeah, it was kind of cringy.
Get back in your bunks! What is this Mickey Mouse shit? What in the name of Jesus H. Christ are you animals doing in my head? Why is Private Pyle out of his bunk after lights out? Why is Private Pyle holding that weapon? Why aren't you stomping Private Pyle's guts out?
Sir, it is the private's duty to inform the senior drill instructor that Private Pyle has a full magazine and is locked and loaded, sir!
Now you listen to me, Private Pyle, and you listen good. I want that weapon, and I want it now. You will place that rifle on the deck at your feet and step back away from it. What is your major
I wouldn't be necessarily yelling at the guy when he's got a fully loaded gun pointed at me. I don't know how you would deal with this situation, especially if someone like Powell, who's just seems already gone. You know, at this point, man, you gotta, I don't know, get MPs or get someone involved as far as like, I don't know. I mean, because you know, something like this probably wouldn't happen in Marine Corps boot camp. All right. I did remember hearing about an army in the army as far as like some recruit ran away with the rifle, and then you know I think he took over a bus and then left the rifle on the bus. And, you know, but as far as this happening, man, I don't. If I was a recruit, I wouldn't know what to do. I mean, dude's got a gun.
Mommy and Daddy show you enough attention when you were a child?
All right, let's go ahead and talk about that for a sec. So, as far as like some of these things that probably did happen, right? As far as like, I guess having more access to your rifle, or you know, screwing up and then having your buddies pay for it. A lot of the stuff probably seemed like the reason why I guess the Marine Corps has changed, you know, throughout time as far as keeping the rifles in the cages, as I said before, not having them as easily accessible. I also found it funny that whenever like they would curse or anything, you know, they would always tell us, like, hey, remember DIs don't curse, right? And they're just like, yeah, yes, sir. And then one thing I will say that probably would have been cool to see is like when you actually are getting like you're in the center of like 3 or 4 DIs just yelling at your face. Happened to me one time, and it's just like, you know, you just gotta wait, and you know, like your eyes are kind of going like this because you're trying to cover the spit that's being flown at your face. And then you're just kind of like, it's gonna pass, you know, can handle a little bit of yelling, you know, you'll live. But I mean, like the funniest thing is like whenever they catch you completely off guard, because then you do that, the little shutter thing, right? But I kind of expected, at least in the beginning scene, right, as far as like when he's going around checking out all the recruits and I guess just like picking little things to like make fun of them of. Never saw it happen. I mean, again, it was only when we were in the middle of doing something, say like when we had our, what do they call it, Black Friday, and we get to meet our DIs for the first time, and we're getting everything online. They're calling something, we pull it out of a sea bag, which, you know, since everything is kind of just shoved in there, you know, you're probably taking a minute to try to grab whatever it is they're wanting you to grab, like recruit tape, right? And well, your locker, and then it's really hard to get it out of there, and then all of a sudden you got like 3 or 4 other DIs coming around, messing with all our stuff, kicking it, saying like, where is it, and then they're throwing everything around, and as soon as they say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, if you don't freeze, they're gonna call you out. Yeah, man, it was kind of interesting to see, kind of just see like what kind of how things I guess were a lot more back then, you know. And then I think this was the movie that first, I guess, showed some of the dirty side of boot camp, right? I didn't see too many things like this when I was in. It seemed pretty regular, pretty average as far as like what you would experience. Not really that hard, just more annoying in some moments, right? But that's gonna go ahead and do it for this video. Thanks for watching, thanks for coming back, and thank you for your patience. As always, I will see you all in the next video.